Alright, recording now. Okay, so we're talking about GU, right? Oh no, we're talking about OPEC. Oh yeah, this one is OPEC. Alright, so I was looking at UGP. I was talking about UGP, right? Yeah, right. We're on the monthly. And so right here, I just had to go into current time frame because I didn't really understand much what was happening here. So I was going to see what was really going on in this time frame. Okay, and just understand what kind of price action is going on, what's happening in those controls, supply and demand. Because then looking at the hard time frame was just something that I felt I didn't have to just yet. I had to go into the small time frame. So here on the small time frame, which is a daily, I just pay attention to what structure and order flow is saying at that point. What order flow made mainly to plan demand. So here I have the HS, which is holding supply. Okay, holding supply, and then you can see the reaction. We go bullish, come back again, go bullish, and this is price creating liquidity. Okay, so price has come back to the exact same spot, creating excess liquidity at that point, right? From this demand zone, which you have a rally base rally. So now you can see that when we tapped into it, that zone, understand that we have liquidity, a lot of liquidity at this point, right here. Okay, now we are on this structure here, we're still bearish because we have a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. Let's check into a small time frame so it looks cleaner. Okay, so this is the 12-hour time frame. So you have a low, you have a high, you have a low, you have a high, lower low, lower high. Use this one. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But that is no break. But that is just in a structure at this point. Okay. And now you can see that this is liquidity created at this area. So price can continue the order flow that's unmitigated. So right here, you have an unmitigated order flow maintaining the structure. Okay. So there's that possibility that price is just using this area as a liquidity zone and trying to take out liquidity to continue to sell and then grab off all of this liquidity to the bottom. Okay. That's like the current play at this point, right? The current play. So how have I got my current interest? Here's how. I went into the small time frame, and of course you can see that this is the last untapped SC. Okay, but I needed confidence as well, so I went into 2-hour time frame, and you can see it supply drop, this drop. So just having price at that area, I just want to see what kind of price action we have, and then if a breaker structure happens, then I can gladly sell your GBP. Okay. You get it? I believe I sent this out in the trade idea section as well. Just so you guys can keep an eye on it. And maybe when I forget, you guys can just raise an alarm so everyone can know that prices are close to price action. Alright. For those who are in these groups as well. Oh, this is a nice. Thanks for that. So yeah, let's see what happens. If a breaker structure happens in here, then we can sell. So that's that one. Now the next one is GA, which for me looks like the trade of the next years to come. That's if I'm willing to hold it for that level. But what I'm seeing on the market is knowing fully well that we're bearish, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, liquidity, lower low. Now this is the high, and this high gives us the low at this point. So this then becomes the lower low. Alright. All of this is just in a structure, and for that reason, price needed premium pricing, and so market decided to go 50%, which you've seen right here, right? And just as soon as the top 50%, they drop price back down. But then again, I understand a lot that we've still got unmitigated order flows a lot at this point. Just right here. You will see it on your small time frame. Okay, but I'm not actually just targeting those highs regardless at this point at least. Because I know for a fact that we've got a lot of unmitigated order flows. Alright, you can see one. There is another one right here. Okay, and I think that was the last one. So you have about this one and this one. There's like a lot of almost get out of flow at that point. But this is the recent one that got tested. That will look clean on the weekly. So let's check out the weekly. Right. So this area got taken out, and then you have this supply level. Okay, there is a drop, base drop, and that is supply. So just taking fractal within fractal and reducing risk, because I didn't want to do something like this, because that would make it too high for me. Okay, that's the supply level. Price gets in there, sales happen. Price gets in there, sales happen. I just have to reduce POI. Okay, so that's why I have it that way. Hope I'm making sense. Okay. If I put it back, this is how it's gonna be. Anyways, maybe I just leave it like that. And you guys can understand that is supply at this point. So having the price action, we break structure, we hope break the demand, and then what happens next is there's another unmitigated order flow just at the top right there where you have a drop base drop, which is supply, and supply wasn't tapped. But what happened was price left it, created liquidity, created a new structure. Okay, so at that point we have unmitigated order flow, and we've not created liquidity. Okay, so I feel like coming down here, looking at what structure is saying here. Okay, structure is saying that we have higher high, higher low, liquidity graph technically, so this becomes higher low, higher low, higher high, okay, higher high, higher low. So here we are still bullish minded at this point, okay, because this is just a liquidity graph from a specific POI to then continue to push price upside. And then maybe likely we could now take out the liquidity, head back down, maybe into the supply before we have, or maybe even continue to go like all the way up here to fill up those unmitigated orders, right? And that's going to start looking like a W kind of formation. And you guys get it. All right. And that's what we call complex pullback. So at this point, we could be heading forward to a complex pullback. Does that make sense? Looking at how the 3 monthly candle closed bullish. So that could be a reversal and could just have bullish mention, who knows. But anyways, now let's go into the small time frame this time, 24 hours time, or let's even say daily time frame first. Alright? The daily time. Yes, I can see that. This is great. I like this trade idea. Okay, thank you. Alright. So now, the reason why I have these areas, I just want to explain why I have these areas. As a point of interest and all of that. So first things first, we have unmitigated order flow at this point, and you have your holding demand, holding supply rather. Okay, right there. Okay, so you have the holding supply right there. Let's see again. Let's see this. All right, you have your holding supply right there, and supply was taken out by demand, which makes that area, those base candles, point of interest. And then you have liquidity created just before that area, and then liquidity does what? Gets tapped out. All right. So having liquidity get tapped out, watch the price action when liquidity gets taken. Price breaks structure. All right. Because right here you have lower high, you have lower low, you have lower high, you have lower low, you have a complex pullback lower high, you have a lower low. Well, technically this is a lower high, this is now becomes lower low, and then this is the lower high, and then this now becomes lower low. So at this point, what's happened? Break of structure. Sign of strength, the intent that prices might likely start to go bullish, right? And so therefore, we have to understand that we can look for buys to the upside. And then we can now say this is starting to look like a nice accumulation, right? So at this point, we have now identified the last holding supply level, which is right here. Okay. And then you can see the evidence of demand. Now, this is obviously liquidity. So I know for a fact that I do not need to buy price at all until the liquidity gets stopped. Not until liquidity gets stopped, and then I watch out for the price action when that happens for a break of structure for a small time frame, and then I buy. Now, why do I have that area as a point of interest for buys? Here's why. On the 4-hour time frame, right? You can see the evidence of the holding supply. You can also see when you check out a different time frame. There was a time frame I saw base drop, which is our supply level. I can't remember what I saw it. Was it 2R? I'll find it at this point anyways. But here's the holding supply level. And as you can see, we break that area, right? So on the 4R, I've been able to reduce the point interest, and I came up with this SC. Okay, so this is the last unmitigated order flow. Sitting pretty, no reactions whatsoever, and you've got liquidity. So I feel like not until price gets here, will I look for a buy. So at this point, I'm just chilling and anticipating sales to keep happening until price gets there. When price gets there, this could be the move for 2021. All right. And obviously my target is going to be here. So we're looking at 3,000 pips at this point. So if I get something like, let's say 5 pips, right? What's 5 pips to 3,000 pips? What's the R? I think that's 600, right? Yeah, that's 600. 1 to 600 is for what? Although that's going to take years anyway, so you might want to maybe open it in a different account or something. POI is H4SC. Yes. You might even get 2 pips or 3 pips. I know GA moves volatile, so it's quite hard to get like small pips or stop loss. So take note of that as well, because it's a volatile pair. So up next is USD JPY. This one is very simple actually, because I was looking at it and I was like, oh, this was a very simple sell trade, because then we just were bearish at this point. You can see, like I have, this is a 3-month time frame, right? So I have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Break of structure, lower high, liquidity, lower substructure, lower low, pullback, complex pullback, IPA fill, lower high, liquidity grab. So we're still bearish at this point. Okay, and we're expecting USJPY to keep dropping and fill up all of this inefficiency, or even like go critical at this point and just break the flow, because we're still bearish. Okay, and liquidity just the top. So now understanding another thing, which is finding out if we have premium pricing, and we've just created it at 50%, which use liquidity. So for this fact, liquidity has to be taken, and I know for a fact that USD JPY is going to drop and take that low. So at this point, I had to check out the other flow and check if it was something unstated. And it was just so nice seeing how the other flow was respected and seeing how it was potentially bearish liquidity taken, other flow gets tapped in. Price point was tapping again, price point was tapping again. Okay, price point was tapping again, price point was basically tapping again. And just substructure was bearish and it was just selling. So within the substructure here, in the structure, you can see liquidity gets tapped, price goes fuse IPA, drops back down. Another time, I know we actually at this point also have this unmitigated SC here, anyways, which actually took out liquidity. So if we do go bullish or anything, then we would buy all the way up here. But at this point, the structure is still bearish, right? You can see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower high liquidity grab as well. So just maybe, price would take up this low. But at this point, we do not know just yet. So we just have to maybe wait and see what happens. But I looked at the 4-hour and I was like, what if this is also liquidity grab? And right here, the other flow actually continues, because we still have liquidity here gets tapped out. And then price starts to break holding demand, price comes back to test what broke demand, This is the last SC, so price comes back, liquidity takes it out, which should continue price to drop, right? So at this point, I feel like it is very risky taking a buy due to the way this is set up. And I feel like it makes sense to just anticipate sales to keep happening at this point, which is trading with the market and not against the market. Another thing I want to look out for is the way the weekly market closed. So the weekly candle, didn't really close like demand had strength in any ways, right? It just closed very weak at this point. So you might just have continuations of bearish momentum to the downside. And that's for that. So the next one I want to talk about is USD CAD. We've established the fact that the XY is potentially bearish, and I think the same for USD CAD at this point as well. So I think it's going to be bearish anyways, because even within the substructure, we have lower highs and lower lows and lower highs and lows. So at this point, it is risky to buy, especially with the way the weekly candle closed, as well. So, there is no reason to get into a trade here, because this is not a quality area to either buy or sell either. So it's just something you just have to chill and wait for price to show you something better. So yeah, those are my analysis for this week. The market is going to open in 2 minutes. All right. And I will see you guys on tomorrow's monthly call. Tomorrow's live session.
Derek, is that London or NY?
That is London.
Cool.
Yeah, I like to trade the London session a lot, right? Like, that's my favorite trading time. I don't really like the New York session. I just like to trade only during the London session. What I mean by that is, for those who are wondering, what I mean by trading London session. Why isn't this one? Oh, it's the monthly time. I was scared for a moment. Okay, so on the 1 hour, this is the only time I trade, right? From the start of the London Open to the end of the London Open. That's only when I like to get into entries, right? Anything outside that, I don't really care. Okay, so that's why I like to trade. So it just happens to get within the New York overlap as well. So that's another time to trade, but I only trade during the London session. So choose one session and stick to it. Right, so I decided to walk from 8 to 4. And that's my job when it comes to day trading. Yep. So basically, guys, I believe that is everything in a nutshell. I hope I've been able to spread knowledge and wisdom and a lot more understanding about the financial market. You guys are welcome. So the market is officially open, and I wish everyone success this week.